One of the most exciting times of the year. The playoffs are here, and there are teams from the 7-4-0 zone looking to push forward into postseason play as the 7-4-0 zone starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome back to the 7-4-0 zone. I'm your host Jacob Murray, and we have a full slate of games from the first weekend of postseason play as we start off with two former TVC Hawking opponents facing off in the first playoff game, as reporter Zach Paquette was at that game to see how the Waterford Wildcats got their first postseason win of the year.
14th seeded Waterford playing host to 19th seeded Miller in the opening round of the playoffs in Division 7, Region 27. And this one was all Waterford from the start. 5 different Wildcats players found the end zone on Friday night as these two former TVC Hawking foes played it out. Wildcats quarterback Grant McCutcheon had a good night passing, going 7-10 from the field, including this touchdown pass to Luke Teeters. But the difference maker for the Wildcats was the ground game. Joe Pandelitis and Holden Daly each rushed for over 100 yards and 2 scores. Pandelitis rushed for 108 yards on 7 carries, while Daly had a monster game, a team-high 148 yards and 2 scores, as the Wildcats would cruise to a 49-0 victory over the Falcons. Daly also made some plays on the defensive end as the Wildcat defense wreaked havoc on the Falcons and didn't give an inch at times.
And with the win tonight, the Wildcats move on to take on Hannibal River High School. And the preparation for that game starts right now, according to Coach McCutcheon.
We're going to start studying the film tomorrow morning. All right, we're going to look at this film, correct our mistakes, and we're off the river. I feel it's a good draw for us. I think we're going to play them well.
Reporting for 7-4-0 Zone, I'm Zach Paquette.
The Wildcats will advance to the second round where they will play the 3rd seed in River. Thanks for the good work, Zach. Now we head over to another team in the same region where we saw Bern Union looking to push that momentum from the regular season into the postseason play. Reporter Jacob Mata was at that game to catch up on all the action.
In Sugar Grove, we had a round 1 playoff matchup between the Bern Union Golden Rockets and the Zanesville Bishop Rosecrans. Bern Union came out hot as Chris Prince caught a 51-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Nate Nemeth, making the score 7-0 Rockets. A few drives later, Ian Staten recovered this fumble for the Rockets, setting them up with great field position, and Nate Nemeth capped off the drive with a QB keep from 4 yards away, making the score 14-0 Bern Union. The Bishops fumbled once again, this time being recovered by Carson Kellenbarger of the Rockets, and Colt McCormick would punch the ball in from 1 yard away a few plays later to make the score 21-0. Sammy Amna got in on the fun, catching a 26-yard touchdown pass and making a few guys miss along the way, making the score 28-0 Rockets. Prince then decided he would make every man on the Bishops' defense miss and blast off for a 26-yard touchdown run, making the score 35-0. David Hurst then decided to pick the ball up late after a Rosecrans punt and managed to find the end zone after some great blocks from his teammates, making the score 42-0. Prince then danced his way into the end zone again, making multiple defenders miss and throwing a few off as well. The Rockets went into halftime up 49-0. They kept their foot on the gas in the second half as Amna took the kickoff to open the second half to the house, making the score 56-0 Rockets. The final Rocket touchdown would be set up by an interception from freshman Gavin Gardner, and 3 plays later, Bray Frazier took the pitch from Nemeth all the way home for a 66-yard touchdown, making the score 63-0 Rockets. Garrett Pugh would find the end zone one time for the Bishops from 80 yards away to make the score 63-6, but the game was sealed by sophomore Luke Schaefer with an interception in the end zone.
Bern Union head coach Tony Herbst knew that his defense just had to come out and get the job done against a team they'd beaten before this season.
Defensively, it was just take care of business. Do your assignment and just focus up. Sometimes you play down to your opponent, and I thought we took care of business tonight.
Reporting for 7-4-0 Zone, I'm Jacob Mata.
Bern Union will look to carry on that same momentum when they take on Beaver Eastern next week in the second round. Thanks for the good work, Jacob. Now we head over to an MVL matchup in the postseason where both of these teams faced off in Week 6, but the playoffs were a completely different story. Reporter Nick Henthorne has more from this game.
We made it, everybody. The playoffs are here, and we had some round 1 MVL action. Number 13 seed Philo Electrics hosting the 20 seed the Maysville Panthers. These two teams battled it out in the last week of the regular season. Maysville won that 43-42, but this contest would not be so close. Philo completely overwhelmed the Panthers, shutting them out and pouring on the points. A 43-0 win for the Electrics. Philo had more than double the yards Maysville had, but at the onset of this one, Philo didn't come out firing, did not score in their first couple drives, trying to work out their ground game. Tailback Casey Munyon injured his foot early on, but he powered through and finished this game strong. 2 rushing touchdowns for the senior on 16 carries, also had 3 receptions for 73 total yards. It was a strong performance, the type of play the Philo faithful have come to expect from the 4-year starter.
For Philo, Casey Munyon did what he's done for this team for 4 years, but the Electrics also received significant contributions from other upperclassmen.
Junior quarterback Owen Smith and senior receiver Eli Preston connected for the first score of the game in the first quarter, a 51-yard pass to start the rout. It was a clean performance for Smith, who finished with 129 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. He also had 93 rushing yards. I'm sure head coach Dirk Linscomb will want to keep seeing that type of play throughout the postseason. Eli Preston, another key contributor, led all receivers with 75 yards on 4 receptions and that touchdown. Casey Munyon talked about his teammates' chemistry with each other after the game.
I've played football with them since like 6th grade, so we know what each other's going to do before we do it, so I feel very confident with them.
Philo's 43 points was a season high for the Electrics, who looked to be playing their best football at exactly the right time. Efficient and explosive, they converted half of their third downs and were 4 for 4 on 4th down conversions. They set the tone early on, running the ball, and really started lining up the scoreboard as the run-pass ratio balanced out later in the game. Give the offense a lot of love, but the defense pitched a shutout too. No small feat, especially after giving up 43 points to this very same team last week. Jackson Radcliffe and Griffin Wells both came away with picks, and a sack for Ty Moorhead showed that this defense has playmakers, and they'll need all of them heading into next week's matchup against the Meadowbrook Colts, who are undefeated and coming off a blowout win of their own, 60-0 against West End. We talked to Coach Linscomb about his team's next opponent.
The playoffs are the playoffs. You have no idea. You know, we scrimmaged Meadowbrook earlier this year, and it was pretty much an even fight. Their numbers this year have been off the charts. I don't know. I don't know if we can stop them. We might just have to try to slow them down a little bit because they are talented everywhere, and they're playing great right now.
Philo will take on MVL foe Meadowbrook in the second round of the playoffs. Thanks for the good work, Nick. Now we head over to MacArthur, where the Vinton County Vikings hosted a playoff game. Reporter Nick Veland was at that game to catch us up on all the action.
Playoff football in MacArthur on Friday night. Union Local made their way into town to face off against Vinton County. Opening drive for Union Local, the ball comes loose and the Vikings will recover. Union Local and Vinton County's defense is able to keep this game scoreless until the end of the first, when Zach Radabaugh will break away for the first score of the game. Union Local, though, needing to answer, will go deep. Carter Blake finds Carter Lose for the score to tie it at 7. Second half, game tied at 13, and the fog will roll into town, and now being able to see becomes a factor. Braylon Dameron will throw it into the fog and find Zach Radabaugh. He breaks the tackle, and he will go all the way to the end zone to take the early lead in the second half. Now deep into the third, takeaways are in full effect. For him back-to-back drives, there are 3 interceptions. 2 for Vinton County and 1 for Union Local. And the Vikings won't give the ball back to Union Local to break the trend, and they will take advantage of the takeaway and take a 14-point lead. Union Local trying to fight back, but Vinton County's defense will say otherwise, causing the fumble and the long scoop and score, and will give the Vikings too strong of a lead for the Jets to come back, as now Vinton County will roll into the second round, winning Friday night's ball game 33-20.
It was back and forth, like you said, the first half, and they found out right away we were playing a very good football team. But I think our playmakers found a way and really came up with some big plays in the back end. I think we had 4 interceptions, and I think we just fought through, and I think we made the plays when we had to.
The Vikings advance to take on Gallia Academy next week, and the winner of that game will take on the winner of Philo and Meadowbrook the week after that. That'll do it for us here from the 740 Zone. If you want to catch up on all the scores and updates, be sure to follow our social media pages on Facebook and Twitter. And be sure to catch up on all of our action on our YouTube page as well, as we have videos coming out from this past week of games and going forward as well. We have a big slate of games coming in week 2 of the postseason, and we'll be there to catch you up on all the action from the 740 Zone. And I'm your host, Jacob Murray, signing off.